What's going on, everyone? My name is Savannah. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are in Planet Zoo, building in Hakea Wildlife Park for some wild dogs. If you guys are not new to the channel, you'll recognize this build. This is actually the build that we worked on as our first ever stream when I started streaming a couple months ago. If you're unfamiliar with the project, Hakea Wildlife Park is our desert-inspired zoo that was kind of inspired by the Australian DLC that came out a while ago. So in the park so far, we've got dingoes, we have koalas, we have ostriches and kangaroos, and now wild dogs. Moving on from here, we're probably going to add saltwater crocodiles and the cassowaries as well, just because the cassowaries came with the Australian DLC too. But other than that, I don't have too many plans for what we're going to put in this park. This video is actually pretty special to me because, as I mentioned before, it does mark my very first stream project where we built this live with the community while they were watching, and I was chit-chatting and talking with you guys and having a ton of fun. And overall, I really am enjoying streaming and having the streams in conjunction with the regular content on the channel. But that's kind of why this video is special to me. This is the first one that I actually built live with you guys watching and not just in my office by myself, you know, music playing, stuff like that. So the first part of this video, though, story time. The professional YouTuber that I am, on both occasions when I streamed, I forgot to hit the record button. So yes, I have the footage because it's obviously uploaded to YouTube so that you can watch streams back if you want to, but I didn't record it on my own back end. I didn't record it on OBS myself. So that being said, that when you download something back off of YouTube, like I was able to do, and we'll get to that in just a second because it was not very simple, it does condense it. So the quality in the first part of this video is not going to be as good as the quality of the last part of the video, because although I did these first kind of two sections, it was 2 streams worth. So the first 4 hours worth of work on this habitat was done live. I did finish it up off stream because we moved over to River Rock Zoo to build for our streaming program. So that's kind of why you may or may not notice. I kind of didn't even want to point it out because if you don't notice, now you do. But the quality is going to be a little bit lower in the first part of this video. And then the very last half, I went ahead and finished off stream. And that's mainly just the guest area. And then obviously I did all the cinematics and things like that to make it an actual video. Back to downloading it off of YouTube. So it should be a very quick and easy process. You may have remembered me mentioning that I was having some internet problems way back before and I had to cancel a Planet Zoo speed build video coming out on the channel on Sunday like they normally do every other Sunday. That was because of this. And this video also it's one of those things that every time I tried to start working on it, something went wrong. Do you ever have things like that where it's like, you know exactly what you have to do and you know all the little individual steps, but something just at every turn goes wrong? Well, that was this video. So if you are not aware, to download something off of your own YouTube, you simply just go to that on your content page, hit the little 3-dot button, and then there's a button that says download. Well, I would hit that and my computer would try for maybe 30 seconds and then give me this like network error, can't download, blah, blah, blah. Tried over and over again, did some searching, removed like my cookies on my computer, tried a whole bunch of different things that were recommended by Google themselves, and nothing worked. So then I took a break, I set it aside for a couple days, and then I decided, or rather I realized, like, I have other devices in my house. I have a laptop. Let me see if I can't download this on my laptop, and then I'll just, you know, move it over onto my computer so that I can edit it and put it together. One of the streams downloaded super quick, no problem, you know, totally easy. The other one would redirect me to another page. I would click download and it would take me back to my dashboard, or it would take me back to the main page of YouTube without any explanation, no warning, no anything. And so after a whole nother 48 hours of just putting it aside because I was so frustrated, so over it, I did not want to deal with it anymore, I finally sat down to do everything today, and it downloaded no problem. So I got both things. And then then when I went to kind of move it over onto my computer, for whatever reason, as I just got everything into Premiere Pro, I'm feeling good. I'm like, yeah, you know, we're going to get this done. Everything's going to go out on time. It's not going to be super time consuming like it has been. My computer completely freezes and crashes, and I need to restart it and start over. I had gotten like 20-30 minutes worth of editing done, all lost, all gone. So then here we are again. I'm doing the voiceover after everything is edited, so I can officially say that for sure this video is, at least at this part, I'm watching the fully edited version of what you guys are going to see, and it looks like we're in the all clear, knock on wood, but that's the story behind this video and kind of why it's so late. Not that anybody really asked, but I felt the need to tell you, because sometimes, even though, you know, I'd like to think I know what I'm doing, the world has different plans, and it just was not having it. So from here on out, you guys, if any of you guys hang out in my streams, if any of you guys are going to pop by and say hi, please help me save my sanity and remind me to hit the record button before we like really get into building. I wrote it on a sticky note because, you know, me being me, I also forgot to do it on our first River Rock stream. So starting right now, any streams that we do going forward, I have got to hit that record button and save myself the headache. So thank you in advance for anybody that's going to hang out with me. Let's get back to talking about the build just a little bit after that rambling story time. Apologies if you're new here. Normally I don't tell super long stories and we kind of talk about the actual build and the animals we're building for. But this video was special. It was special for a whole lot of reasons. It was special because it's our first stream video, but it's also special because it was the most aggravating video I think I've ever had to put together, and I'm so happy that I'm sitting here talking about it and that it's going to be uploaded tomorrow morning. So I'm recording this the day before. You guys will see it Sunday morning on the 14th. Anyway, back to the build. So the dingoes are right behind us in that other little ditch with the kind of square build behind us. So we're kind of taking inspiration from that, but doing something just a little bit different. And we originally started with this kind of build that you're seeing here, and we don't change it too much, but I will say we end up adjusting the roof because right now it looks a little too square for me, a little bit too much like a shipping container. So we end up raising that roof or angling it just a little bit and putting windows up above just to let in some light and give it a little bit of a different shape. But we're just kind of going along with the same theme that we were going with our dingo habitat. Again, this is kind of a deserty, still modern. Obviously, this is a really modern build, but the Australian pieces with all the light wash of woods and the metal, the corrugated metal that we're using on the sides of the building, and then obviously the metal sheeting that we're using for the awnings of the windows, really was just kind of wanting to use all of those pieces and keep it cohesive across the whole zoo. I really like this zoo. Hakea Wildlife Park is actually probably one of my favorites. I know you guys really love River Rock Zoo, but that being my first project will always have a special place in my heart, but it's not currently my favorite project to build in. Not that I don't dislike building in there, but if I had to pick like my favorite, it probably wouldn't be River Rock. But I just love the light colored tones, the warm feelings of a Hakea Wildlife Park, with the contrast of the greenery of all the trees and things that we put in there. So I really like the feel of this zoo. So like I mentioned before, keeping going with probably adding some saltwater crocodiles and cassowaries. If you guys have any suggestions, because I don't actually know what we're gonna do after that, please let me know down in the comments and I would be happy to kind of consider different animals. We do have to keep in mind that we possibly are getting new animals coming very soon. Planet Zoo, if you did miss it, I talked about it a little bit in my franchise episode that came out today, that they announced that they are releasing billboards sometime soon for the game as a free update. And normally, at least in the past, when we've gotten a free update, we've then also been followed closely by a DLC. So fingers crossed, that's what we're going to be seeing this time around too. You guys have lots of fun ideas about what animals you want or what animals we think we're getting, but keeping in mind, so there might be some new animals to choose from to put in this zoo very soon, let's hope. But anyway, long story short, if you guys do have any suggestions, do let me know, because I want to keep continuing to add to this zoo. And we're going to need to add some guest areas as well, because actually right now there's no food, there's no rest stops, there's no bathrooms, there's no anything for the guests. This is just a zoo built for the animals. So we probably need to keep them in mind somewhat soon. You can see me here after we kind of are sort of wrapping up the end of the first stream. I can't help myself. I don't like anything I build until I put the trees down. So you'll see me, like you see me here, kind of halfway through, put down some trees, kind of double check my sight lines and my angles and make sure everything is looking a-okay, because the greenery just kind of pulls everything together for me. So let's go ahead and talk about our animals that we're building for today. So the African wild dogs, right? So even though this is kind of an Australian themed feeling zoo, simply because it is inspired by the DLC that came out, African wild dogs are actually found throughout Africa. And you guys can probably guess what I'm going to say, but I think these guys are so cute. They're so cool. And so I've got some fun facts to share with you guys today. First being that their scientific name actually does directly mean painted wolf, which goes along with their markings, right? They're all covered in brown and white and black speckles. And much like other animals with unique patterning like that, like the zebras, no two wild dogs have the same markings, so they're easily identifiable to each other as different individuals. And something else I find really interesting is that unlike a lot of other pack animals, so like the lions, where the males will kind of reach maturity and then leave their pride, right, and go start their own pride or wander around with other male individuals for a while, African wild dogs are the opposite. The males actually reach maturity and they stay with their pack, while the females migrate and join new packs. So I think that that's really interesting. It's just a different way that they've evolved, their social constructs and the hierarchies within their packs and things like that, in compared to other kind of pack or pride animals. I don't actually know what the adaptation or the benefit of that is or why it's that way, but I just find that cool nonetheless, that the males are actually the ones that stay with the pack. And then the females are the ones that kind of migrate and find their new pack. But similar to other animals that kind of live in a group, or we're talking about carnivores here, other carnivorous animals that hunt and work in a group, African wild dogs are no different. So they do also hunt in groups and they work cooperatively to take down their prey, and they're incredibly intelligent. And once they do bring down their prey, they are known for being not very aggressive over the kill, where they'll let the entire pack eat what they've brought down instead of kind of driving off other dogs, even if they weren't in the actual hunt themselves. And of course we have to talk about the little babies, right? The little pups are so cute. They're born looking just like their parents with their markings all over the place, and the entire pack does help take care of them. So when pups are born, moms and dads, the males and the females, all kind of help cooperatively to look after the little pups and make sure that they are safely taken care of. So I just find them an overall really interesting species. They are a species that is a little bit struggling in the wild. They are currently listed as being endangered on the IUCN Red list, and to my understanding it's mostly due to habitat fragmentation. African wild dogs are actually animals that kind of cover really far distances of territories and kind of migrate all around, and due to development and deforestation, things like that, destruction of their natural habitat, it's being fragmented and they're not being able to get to each other and to travel all those long distances very well. So they are, like I said, listed as being endangered. So it is important that we kind of learn about them and help protect them. And of course there's all the normal things that you can do to help with the deforestation problem and stuff like that, as simple as recycling, turning off your lights when you're not home or not in a room, using reusable bags when you go grocery shopping, all all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm not going to turn this into a whole conservation talk, but I just think that the African wild dogs are super, super cool, and they definitely, like many other species, just kind of deserve our attention and our help if we can do it. And so some things like that are really, really easy and things that you don't really even have to try at or think about. So why not help them? So jumping back into the build and what we are actually doing here on your screen, you can see that I did pull the support systems from the other building from the dingo habitat and kind of pulled them over here. The idea was to extend them and kind of make a covering area for the guests to walk by, but I think I leave them. I'm pretty sure I leave them, but then I end up doing a different kind of covering. I was originally, like I said, going to extend those and use those silver metal poles, but then I end up using like the more rustic looking fence pieces, the poles, those individual round poles that we got with the Australian pack. Overall, this build took about, I want to say 6 hours or so, and honestly that was mostly because I was doing this on stream like I mentioned in the very beginning, so it took me a little bit longer versus if I was just sitting here by myself. But like I said, it was really enjoyable to do it on stream and kind of get your guys' opinion, get your help, and chat with you guys and see how you guys are doing while I was building. So something I will definitely obviously keep continuing. We're going to still be streaming every other Sunday, because I realized that as I was talking about this in the beginning, I forgot to tell you guys when exactly I'm live. I'm live every other Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so nice and early on my end, so that way the entire world more or less is awake for the stream, so that there's a higher chance that everybody can catch it. I am starting to try to think about possibly doing every Sunday, but right now the next couple months are going to be crazy for me at work, and I actually do have to work a couple Sundays, so I'll have to figure that out on my schedule and switch things around. But that's what we've got going on right now. So at this point, I do think that I start on the actual habitat itself. So obviously we made the little shelter underneath of the viewing area for the African wild dogs to sleep. So throwing some hay or some straw bedding underneath there so that they can have a nice little nap. And then we get on to foliage. So it's basically just kind of the same thing of what I've been doing through the whole park, using the same kind of trees, same kind of bushes all around. I end up doing a little bit of terrain heightening and leveling in the actual habitat itself, so that it's not just a flat piece of ground. Oh yeah, and then I totally forgot. So we add a couple more viewing areas. So this first one here, putting in the metal fencing and then kind of decorating it with an overhang. And I need to put these overhangs on the workshop. I told you guys that I would, and I will, but I've forgotten up until now. So after I'm done with this, I will try my very best to kind of put them up on the workshop. The link to my Steam page is down in the description, so if you ever want to check out what I've uploaded there, or use any pieces that I might have uploaded, you can find them there. But yeah, so just decorating this as another little viewing area. We end up bringing the path all the way around and then kind of leaving some area for some what is it called? Like a food court, some guest area, like I was mentioning we needed to add. So we did definitely add a little space to implement that in there. So I'm happy with how this came out. It kind of gives different little angles that you can see the animals from as you walk around. So kind of spreads the guests out just a little bit more. When I get to the interior of the building, I do add a little bit of custom signing, which is mainly just bringing it over from the dingo habitat, just to, again, kind of keep everything cohesive. But with that, guys, I really don't have too much else to say on the build itself. We're going to finish this up. Lots of trees, lots of foliage, add them a little bit of a water area to swim in, and then of course there are some cinematics at the very, very end. So if you did enjoy, please do leave a like. It really does help out the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what animal you want to see next, what you think we're getting with the new DLC that we hope is coming very, very soon, and what you're excited for. Just let me know all of the above, even if it was just how your day's going. I love to chat with you guys. Love to see those things in the comments below. So until next time, I will leave you guys with the rest of the speed build, and then of course the cinematics at the very end. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk at you in the next one. Bye!